So from a historical perspective, we are still at a lower range of what the repo rates had been. The pace of rate hikes, the quantum has reduced in the recent RBI rate hike. The cap which has been basically put for the interest deduction, the home loan interest deduction, that should be indexed to inflation.
So tell me, in terms of, we have spoken a lot about the prop tech, but in terms of, you must have noticed last year, repo hike rate has impacted the home loan rates. So do you see what kind of trend you would be noticing this year? Would it affect your residential market?
So there are two things. One is whether the rates are high or not, and second, where do I see it going? So to answer the first question, our repo rate right now is at 6.25%. If you look at past 20-year historic averages, the repo rate has been in the range of 6 to 8%. So from a historical perspective, we are still at a lower range of what the repo rates had been. And I have personally seen and taken home loan at a much, much higher rate. And for a 20-year cycle, the rates are not high. They are moderate at best. So first of all, the rates are not high. And hence, despite these continuous increase in rates in the past year, there has been no impact in terms of either home loan or offtake or be it sales of flats. In fact, if you look at the credit growth of banking industry, it was pretty muted in the year 2020-2021. And now is the time when you are seeing the credit growth. The banking industry as such has huge amount of deposits, but not good avenue to give credit. And home loan is one of the safest assets out there. That is why today all the banks are basically more than happy to give credit. So one is this. Second is, if the question is also about where the real estate rates are going, I think looking at what US Fed is doing, mirroring that, I think one more hike is on the card. Anyway, the pace of rate hikes, the quantum has reduced in the recent RBI rate hike. I think one more rate hike is perhaps on the card, and that's it. I don't think inflation numbers which you would have seen today or yesterday which came, they are anyway cooling down. And yesterday night also CPI data of US also came. So inflation is cooling down across US as well as India. One more rate hike to the best. So I think we are in a good place.
So what are you expecting from the upcoming budget? Like, do you have any expectation the government should look into it for real estate?
So my expectation has been same every year, but it doesn't get fulfilled. I think instead of saying any fancy things, I would, on the behalf of all Indian consumers, I would suggest that the cap which has been basically put for the interest deduction, the home loan interest deduction, that should be indexed to inflation. Instead of keeping a 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh limit, it should be indexed to inflation, because inflation itself is increasing. So if there's a 10% or 6% inflation, index to it and keep on increasing it. Because then that, otherwise you are reducing it in a way, artificially. And second is that now with disposable income, people do buy 2 homes. And hence this reversal which basically happened few budgets before, where you could only claim for 1 home loan interest deduction and not 2. I think that should be done away with, because if you want people to invest their savings in homes, allow them to do it for 2 homes. That are the 2 things that I would request the government for.